Hello and welcome to the next video in a series of how-to videos for Arteco. In this one we're going to be looking at how to create layouts and then add devices to them in Next. So if you're not already on the live environment, click the live button at the top left. And you might notice you may have some layouts already created here. I have quite a few that I've already created myself. But you may have just three initial layouts that are just layout 1, layout 2, and layout 3. They may have 1, 4, and then 9 device grid spaces, kind of as you see here in this one. This one's an example of that layout 2, but it already has devices in it. So in order to create new layouts to put new devices into, you can click the button on the toolbar, Create New Layout, or you can also right-click one of the layout tabs and say New Layout. And when you do that, it takes you to the new layout screen. And the new layout screen is the layout creation menu, and we've got some options here. So first thing we want to do is give it a name. So I'll call this layout and layout. And then I want to choose what type of layout I want it to be. A local layout will just be saved on the client machine itself, and a remote layout is saved on the server that you choose in this box here. So I have two servers that I'm connected to. I can choose to save that on either US Demo 1 or US Demo 2. I'm going to choose to make this a local layout to show you what it looks like for that, and we'll do the other two types of layouts, which are both remote layouts, here shortly. So after I've selected my layout type, I want to either choose from some of the standard layouts that are shown here. So I can do a 2x2, a 3x3, 4x4, for instance, or even 5x5, 6x6, 7x7. There's also some sort of specific layouts that have a number of grid spaces that are larger than some of the other grid spaces. This is for if you have like a main camera that you want to see in the middle there, along with a bunch of others all on the sides. Another popular one is to do a larger layout window up on the top left and then have smaller grid spaces on the bottom right. So what I'll do is I'll just create a 2x2 here on the standard, and I'll click OK. So now my layout is created and it goes directly to that layout. So now in order to add devices to that layout, I want to drop down my video channels, and then I'll add in the devices by just clicking and dragging them into the layout. I can also click and drag in other devices that are not actual cameras. So for instance, if you have maybe a web device that you want to pull in there, for instance, we have our weather radar website for St. Louis. You can pull that into a grid space to be able to see a web page inside of Next. You can also do the same thing for other web devices. For instance, if you have an access control integration there, you can go directly to the web client for your access control, for instance. So the CK Biosecurity, and I can use this to log right into the biosecurity website there, or rather the biosecurity server that we have here installed at the office. And that'll take me directly into that web client. All right. We also have the ability to do that for open connector devices. So let's say we have one of our ZK panels on our front door, and we want to see whenever somebody comes into the door, we can definitely display that here as well. So it's not just video channels. You can pull in a lot of different devices along with any video channels too. So let's create another layout that's going to be remote. So we'll right click there and select new layout, and we'll call this Brian Layout 2. And this time, like I said, I was going to make a local first, and then I will make some remote layouts. So these remote layouts are saved on the server, and so what they do is they'll be saved on the server, and you can access them either by logging in as the user that you created it on, or if you have the feature for video wall, you can make it a shared layout. So first we'll make a private layout, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for this one, I'm going to do a custom layout, and I want to just make a certain number of columns and rows. So I'll make 2 columns and 1 row just to have two grid spaces side by side. So there we go. I've got 2 grid spaces side by side, and you can see that this is a remote layout because it has red in one of those 4 boxes. The remote private layouts have 3 white boxes and then a red box on the bottom right. And then the shared layouts have red on all of their boxes. So now that I've done that, I'll grab a couple cameras in here first, just so you can see that again. And then I'll create a new layout and make it a shared layout. I'll call this Brian Shared. And this layout's also going to save on the server because it's remote. And I will make this one a 3x3, and I'll click OK. And so with this shared layout feature, again, this is dependent on your Arteco server license that you have. You need to have the video wall feature on it in order to do the shared layouts. However, I think that is available with most Arteco licenses nowadays. So with these shared layouts, what you can do is you can actually pull in devices, and it replicates those devices that you're pulling into the grid spaces on all other layouts that are shown on there. And to give an example of this, I'm going to go ahead and click on the layout that is in the device list. So here I have the device list Brian Shared. And you can see that Arteco US Demo 1 Bosch camera, this camera here, is in that grid space 1. And what I'll do here is I'll show you what it looks like when somebody has the window open here in their Next client, and when you pull a device down into one of the grid spaces. You can see it automatically goes into the grid space for them. So you can say, let's say for instance, I need to have this layout showing a little bit larger view of a camera, so I can change what it looks like there, and it'll change down in the device properties. And then I want to have them being able to see this PTZ camera. So I pulled in that PTZ camera, but let's say I want them to see a camera that's a little more important, perhaps. I can pull in that camera right down into either the device properties, or if you have the layout open yourself, you can also drag it directly into that layout, and it'll propagate throughout all of the others that have it open. All right, so now we can grab a few more cameras, and we'll put them down in here, and you can see that just automatically puts them right in there. And then with that, you can control what other people are seeing using the shared layout feature. And then another thing that you can do with shared and remote layouts is you can modify those layouts and link devices to them. And by linking devices to those, you can end up actually linking a layout to a device. So I'll show you what that looks like. If I want to link to this Brian Shared layout, the PTZ camera, then I can click OK there. And let's say I have this camera open in another layout, like I do here. What I can do is I can right click, and then I can go to open linked layout. And opening the linked layout opens the Brian Shared layout. So that's the linked devices feature. All right, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for further videos.